Hello everyone, I apologise if no one's tuning in yet. Race will begin in about 60 seconds time with the formation lap. And yes, let me just update you, drivers must make a minimum of 2 pit stops for tyre changes. I want to see, where is the grid order? That is your championship driver standings. Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Russell, 47 points behind it. Basic. I mean, everyone else is out of it already, so. Fourteenth and 15th will be where Mercedes start. I beg your pardon. That is your front row, the grid. Norris starting alongside Leclerc and Piastri behind him. And just so you know, goes without saying, Monaco is very difficult to overtake on. Yeah, but I'm also going to do a watch along for the BTCC race. So it's going to be a bit of a complicated one. Of course, if you watch the DTM, what a great end to the race it was. Jack Aiken won over what's his name? Rennie Rast, who narrowly held off Jules Gounon on the line for second place. But of course, Lucas Howard still leads the DTM championship, but only by 6 points. It's really tight in DTM right now. I heard won the first race at Snetterton at the BTCC event. And let's look at the tyres. Verstappen is going to start on hard compound. Hadjar on mediums. Alonso, Hamilton also on the hards. Oh, look. And Liam Lawson will begin the race on the soft tyres. So there's a very good variety of strategies being used today. Just so you know, in about half an hour's time, I will probably go and watch the BTCC race whilst this race is happening, because I mean, truth be told, this is going to be a race where it's going to revolve around pit stops. Because if you've never seen a Monaco Grand Prix before, yeah, overtaking is almost nigh on impossible, especially in these 2-meter wide cars. But of course, everyone is now on their formation laps. I think Bearman will start last. Stroll is at 19th place because they've had penalties, which of course has somewhat saved Alpine's blushes somewhat because they're starting just in front of them. Hello there, Ruxford. I know Chaz is not streaming today because he's not really a fan of watching Monaco. Fair enough. Hope you're doing well, Ruxford. Of course, I did hear the news that Sunderland won the championship playoff final yesterday against Sheffield United. Another late winner for the boys from the northeast. And of course, we'll be having the return of the Tynesware derby between Newcastle and Sunderland next season in the Premier League. Thank you for 8 people watching. Hello there, Kiefer. Hello there, Ruxford. Yeah, lots of crashes around here. Obviously, it's a very tight circuit. Just so you know, there will be me talking about the BTCC race later on, since I don't think much is going to happen. I'll be basically keeping my eyes on 2 screens and 3 screens, my phone, my track map, and of course the TV screen for the BTCC when it happens. Just so you know, if you've been seeing anyone have a timing screen saying that it's going to be a 2-hour countdown, of course that means that it's a maximum allocation of 2 hours for the race before. Of course, if the race continues for longer than 2 hours, they will bring out a checkered flag early. Because, of course, Monaco is the slowest track on the entire calendar by quite some distance. Oh, we've got the stop. Well, it looks like I'm behind 30 seconds, but Norris has taken the lead, much to his own benefit. Lando Norris has actually got the start right. Well, Leclerc. Well, I mean, I've got to say it. I think most of the cars behaved themselves. I'm going to look down the order to see if there's any changes. Hulkenberg up to 12th. Tsunoda down to 13th. And it's last year were really. Only Hulkenberg and Tsunoda swap positions. But that's it. Oh, wow. I'm not sure what else to say, to be honest. Of course, yeah, Norris did look up at the first corner, but Leclerc could not navigate a way past, so very, very lucky. Where is Segura? I don't know. Bortoletto's in trouble. Bortoletto's dropped down the order. Oh, he's stuck at Portier. Bortoletto, I think, it's hit the barriers at Portier, and well, oh, he's got going again. Bortoletto's got going again. Bortoletto, nice one. But of course, Bortoletto has gone out. VSC has come out. That's interesting. It's a bit late, isn't it? I mean, Bortoletto's already got going again. He's already heading towards the back of my screen, but he is like, I don't know, 15 seconds behind everyone. That is your top 10. It stayed exactly as it was. Sainz. Oh, VSC, yes, VSC. Hulkenberg and Russell. Oh. Tsunoda dropped down to 17th. That's a real weird one. What my God, Colapinto had an amazing start. Climbed up 3 positions and oh God, Gasly, really? Yep, 3 cars have pitted. Thank you for the updates. Of course, they're all outside of the top 10. That's I do wonder what they're going to do with tyres, because Gasly, Tsunoda, Bearman, Tsunoda's on the soft tyres. I think he's going to bin it off. I mean, that's a very clever idea to use the soft tyres and get rid of it straight away. Use up your mandatory pit stop. Gasly and Bearman, I don't know what tyres they will use, but I mean, if Tsunoda, let me just look at my screen. Yeah, Tsunoda's now gone on hard tyres. Gasly's gone on a second pair of medium tyres, and now Bearman's gone on a pair of hard tyres. So yeah, very, very smart there by Tsunoda to use up, well, start the soft tyres. Very smart decision, because I mean, now we can just focus on just using hard and mediums for the rest of the race and not have to think about any other compound of tyres. Is there like debris on the track? Because, well, did Bottas lose the front? Well, obviously, from looking at the fastest lap, because we had a VSC, no one's been able to do anything faster than a 1 minute 44 so far because of all the chaos. Norris has the fastest lap, but of course it's a very slow fastest lap. Of course, a very poor rookie error there by Gabriel Bortoletto to lock up like he did at Portier and leave bits of his front wing on the track. I am surprised only 4 cars are pitted though. Obviously, Bortoletto's pitted. Bortoletto has swapped his medium compounds for also hard compounds. I don't know why second pair of mediums though. It's a bit pointless, don't you think? Considering he's probably going to be stuck behind Tsunoda, and well, Tsunoda's got a faster car, so I don't even know what the thinking is down at Alpine. I really don't. So just so you remember, we have every driver must complete 2 mandatory pit stops, and I am a bit confused at why only 4 cars towards the back have decided to pit. I don't know why. That is really strange and baffling. That makes no sense to me. I don't know what's going on. That's really baffling and confusing. I really want to know why. I don't know why. I'm a bit curious. It seems like everyone is scared that, half the. It seems like the front runners are prioritizing track positions at all costs. I don't know why someone like Carlos Sainz doesn't pick though, because I mean, it's not like he's in a position to really score many points today. I'm also curious as to why Mercedes have stayed out. Like, why have Mercedes stayed out? Like, is it like I'm beginning to wonder whether I have a few drivers and teams forgot that we've got 2 pit stops today. I mean, yeah, the VSC is ending. I think you're all 30 seconds ahead of me, so no spoilers in the chat, please, because Bearman, why is Bearman and Bottas so far behind on my track map? What's going on with those two? Did he pit again? I don't know what's going on. All right, my audio's got a lot of spark and crackling. Okay. Sorry. You know what? I'll take my charger out. Yeah, now I can see the VSC ending on my... Okay, thank you. Norris leads Leclerc. Sorry, that's the struggling with phone. Anyway, Tsunoda and Gasly are really far behind. Bottas and Bearman are like half a lap behind Norris. Ocon has profited. He's in 8th place. My eyes are so confused at seeing Ocon in 8th place. What a qualifying lap that was yesterday by Verstappen. I don't know what it is, but Esteban always has like a couple of tracks where he's just ridiculously good at those circuits. And yes, that's it's the fastest lap for Bearman, a 1 minute 22.221. I'm trying to do the numbers in my head. I think Piastri right now probably only leads the championship by like 2 points ahead of Norris. So last weekend and today's result could well potentially cost Piastri quite dearly in the Drivers' Championship. And Norris, despite looking his brakes at turn 1 on the start of the race, I think, as long as he doesn't make any dumb mistakes, this win should be his. And as long as, obviously, he gets a good strategy going, he doesn't allow himself to be undercut or overcut by his competitors, it's there for the taking, Norris. And surprisingly enough, it's actually only going to be his second win of the season. I think what's probably more embarrassing for Norris is that right now he only has 5 career wins, whilst Piastri has 6 career wins to his name. And Bearman's just done a 1 minute 15.58. That's surprisingly quick at this stage of the race, I've got to say. Yeah, just make sure the pit crew don't do anything stupid. Make sure he pits at the right moment. Make sure he doesn't pit too early or pit too late, so he can maximize tyre life. It's there for the taking. And well, I mean, Morrison's best lap so far has been a 1 minute 18, and his last lap was a 1 minute 19. So looks like Norris and the front runners are trying to manage their pace, and Verstappen, Hadjar, Alonso, Hamilton, Ocon, all in the 1 minute 20s. Yeah, the top 3 are clearly miles ahead of everyone today. But only apart from Bearman, who is flying in clean air. Having said that, Bottas is about let me just say, he's about, see, he's almost a second slower than Bearman for some reason, which is peculiar. While Tsunoda is really holding Gasly up, really holding him up, which makes me wonder why on earth did Gasly and Alpine decide to go on a second set of mediums, because, like I said, Tsunoda's probably going to hold him up. It's like a 2.5 second gap between Stroll and Tsunoda down the field. For those who want to know what happened at DTM, I think, what was it? We had a photo finish between René Rast and John Mockgoon on for the final lap. For second place was Jack Aitken won the race. Norris leads. Just so you know, no changes to the order. I mean, if there's any other sound in the background, obviously you can hear birds chirping and all that behind me. I think Norris has got a 2-second gap between himself and Leclerc. Obviously, Mercedes are down in 13th and 14th. They can't really do anything because you're at Monaco, everyone. You can't overtake. Sorry, I'm going to look at the results for. Sorry. Yellow flag for someone. Is that at Nouveau Chicane? Wait, Gasly tried to overtake Tsunoda, but it looks like Gasly's got damage. Oh my god, this season just... Oh, I cannot be arsed. Dude, I'm done, to be honest. Gasly has been overtaken by Bearman. Gasly's gone to the pits. He's dropped place, unsurprisingly. He's got a broken suspension. You know what it is at this rate? Gasly could be getting replaced. I'm not even joking, because BTCC is probably sitting there thinking, what the hell are you doing, Pierre? What are you doing? Oh, right. Gasly had a brake failure. What? Gasly had a brake failure? Oh my god. Honestly, what? Well, I mean, it is free. Alpine are probably going to finish last in the constructors, and frankly, yeah, I'm done. I'm done, mate. I am done. So, yeah, it looked, well, oh no, they didn't print the results for race 2 at Lawson String, but just so you know, Jack Aitken finished first, René Rast second, and what's his name? Jules Gordon finished third, just about half a tenth behind René Rast, who, I mean, René Rast was trying to actually go for the win today, and yeah, looks like Gasly left a lot of debris out on the track, so there's still yellow flags at the Nouveau Chicane, and coming out of the swimming pool, because I think Gasly's car was hanging by pieces, so oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. I mean, yeah, but I mean, but from what I heard, a brake failure has actually ruined Gasly's race. It's a brake failure. It was not an intentional overtaking maneuver. It was a brake failure coming out of the tunnel. Oh, Jesus whips. All I'm going to say, Gasly, is that if Williams or Aston Martin give you a phone call anytime soon, you better say yes to whatever they're offering you, because honestly, this Alpine team is doomed. Get out of there. Get out of there, mate. You all just get out. Leave. Oh, yeah. Because, oh, yeah. No one can come into the pits now, and if they do get into the pits, they will be given a penalty. Because, of course, they'll be infringing the red light at the front of the pit lane. And, of course, they could even risk disqualification in some cases. depending on if you infringe the rules. I mean, I could remember what's his name, Giancarlo Fisichella and Felipe Massa were disqualified at the 2007 Canadian Grand Prix for entering a closed pit lane. And he did the same to Montoya in 2005, and of course he made things with himself up behind Kimi Räikkönen, who was leading the race under the safety car. Oh, right, he's parked his car near the front of the pit lane, that's why, that makes sense. Yeah, he didn't make it fully back to his pit box. That makes sense, but I'm pretty sure no one needs to pit immediately because obviously we're at Monaco where tyre life is pretty good. Yeah, Barry Keller also got disqualified for a similar offence, so I think all the drivers have been informed about the pit lane being closed. The BTCC race, I think I'm going to try and update you on that because, truth be told, there's not that much going on apart from what happened to Gasly. This is race one, everyone. Dan Camish beat Tom Ingram. I think Ash Sutton finished third. Dan Robotham finished fourth. Fifth was Dan Lloyd. Adam Morgan sixth. Tom Chilton seventh. Adam Morgan's driven well, but he just can't get any sort of decent result. Oh, yeah, well, I think Pierre Gasly paid a price for staying at, what was it, AlphaTauri for too long. Like, I mean, I think there were offers from other teams around the time when he went back to AlphaTauri, but he didn't. He decided to stay on in the hopes that Red Bull would call him back. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Lawson is really holding Albon up now. Like, I'm trying to see on my track map. My God, there's like a 14-second gap between Ocon and Lawson. Oh my God, Lawson, just go wide at what Maribor or something, or go wide at the chicane or something. Because seriously, you're just ruining Albon's race. Oh. If you want to know what happened at the DTM, I'm going to look for it now. I'm pretty sure Ash Sutton still leads the championship in the BTCC, but I will be doing a live stream in a few minutes for that race. Okay, so they don't do race results, weirdly enough. That's pretty peculiar, and I don't know what to make of that. Colapinto pits, thank you. Not that he's going to change sports because he's just going to drop to the back of the field, isn't he? Yeah, another pit. Jesus, wait. Just so you know, if you're wondering why Pierre Gasly is no longer circulating on the track, it's because he had a brake failure coming out of the tunnel, heading into the Nouveau chicane, and he hit the right rear of Tsunoda's car, who, luckily for the second Red Bull driver, his car is still functioning. Right, Albert's name is written entirely on top of his helmet. Well, Yep. Lawson, I hope. Why can't Liam Lawson have a mechanical failure? Like, he's just so hideously slow. Like, good grief, he's like. Oh, right. Wait, oh yeah, Hadjar's now fitted. And Hadjar's come out in front of Lawson. That's how slow Lawson is. He's so slow that he can't even get ahead of his teammate who's just had a pit stop. I want to puke. I really want to puke. And now the gap between Ocon and Lawson is 20 seconds. He could cause Lance to crash. I know Lance Stroll is a bang average driver, but I don't think he's that bad, is he? Is he? I don't know. Now you're scaring me. Bearman has the fastest lap of a 1 minute 14.85. That's pretty decent, but of course he. Where is he on the track? I'm trying to see. I think he's. Oh yeah, he's now closed up to Tsunoda, so yeah, his lap times are now dropped off. But Norris is just on a 1 minute 15.67. He's still yet to pit. His teammate's gone quicker with a 1 minute 15.5 ish. Alonso's also getting closer to McLaren lap times, and Hulkenberg is doing a 1 minute 16.1. And I think it's safe to say getting into clear air at Monaco is very useful. And Lando lock up again? Oh my god. Alonso don't call have pitted. Yep. You know what? I'm going to turn my TV on for something else. Oh, we've got the start of the BTCC here. Yep. Just so you know, Sutton has taken the lead on lap 1 of the BTCC. And Dan Camish has made a dreadful start, dropping down all the way down to 5th place on the first lap. And yeah, there's the new updated order after the first lap. Oh, we've got a couple of cars going off the track wide at the final corner here at Snetterton. And, well, Morgan's up to 5th ahead of Chilton and Smiley as Camish is down to 8th place. That's a, oh my god, a pole sitter has had and the race 1 winner, Dan Camish, has had a stinker in the Napa Ford Focus as his teammate and championship leader Dan Aston takes control again, 4-time series champion. And it looks like there's a bit of dicing down there. I think Osborne's up to 8th place. He's overtaken Camish. And is that Coke in 11th place? Sorry. Unsafe relief from Alonso's pit crew. That's interesting. I mean, he's in 7th place, so. And of course, I did say I would do a double stream, so if you're wondering, I might. Kamish is down to 10th place. He's locking his brakes everywhere. Like, what on earth happened to Dan Kamish? Truly abysmal first 2 laps. Hamilton pits, thank you. Yeah. Kamish is down to 11th. What is happening to him? It's gone wide again. Oh no, that's another call, sorry. Ingram's crashed. Ingram's got off the track. He's got the rear end out. Oh, and he's dropped down to like 6th or 7th in the virtue. Oh, Tom Ingram, who was sitting pretty in 2nd place, lost the rear end and slammed the barriers while he was trying to save the car, and he dropped down to 7th or 8th place. So that's Sutton and Rowbottom making it a Napa Ford 1-2. And I wonder what shape Ingram's car is going to be after this, because I mean, I don't know what happened to his rear end. He just lost the rear end coming out of one of the corners, and he's pretty lucky that his car is still going, because that looked like a barely notable nudge with the barriers on the exit. And just so you know, obviously every driver has a maximum of 8 boosts on their car, because of course last year I think BTCC were using hybrid boost. This year they've gone back to using turbo boost, and yeah, obviously everyone's pitting in the F1 race. I mean, I think it's more a case of everyone trying to undercut or overcut each other. Norris obviously pitting from the lead. He's dropped down to 4th place. Verstappen is 3rd, thank you. Yeah, well, obviously Hadjar's come out in front of Lawson again. My goodness me, Lawson is dreadfully slow. From what I can see, though, Dan Kamish has gone back up in the top 10. Where's Ingram? I think Ingram's gone down to 13th. I think there is a bit of damage on his in his Hyundai. Yeah, he's out of the race side. I think he's gone to the pits. But Rowbottom's taking the lead off Sutton. Well, yeah, Ingram's out. Tom Ingram's out of the race after losing his car on the exit and hitting the barriers. I knew his car wouldn't survive. What happened? Sutton's down to 5th. Oh God, a TV can't keep what was going on with Ash Sutton, I beg your pardon. Lloyd's up to 2nd place, and 3rd is Adam Morgan, 4th is Chilton. Gotta say, look, a lot of the front runners are struggling against Snetterton in the 2nd race. Of course, Leclerc and Verstappen get to pit. Obviously, Piastri emerges behind Norris in the F1 race. My God, Sutton and Kamish and Ingram especially have had a disastrous start to this race. Horrible start. And Ingram's Hyundai is probably terminally wounded, and I think his team are going to have a job in their hands to fix that car for race 3 later on. Of course, I am going to be doing full coverage of the Indy 500, so if the race starts around the time when the BTCC is on, I'm not doing the BTCC, and I do wonder what's going to happen to the championship for this race. Of course, there's only 12 laps here at Snetterton. Sorry, Leclerc's gone to the pit now. Thank you. Look at that advert for Carlos Sainz's L'Oreal hair advert. Oh, I mean, I've been seeing that Carlos Sainz Father's Day deal advert all weekend long. Like, why don't they get his dad to do the advert with him? But yeah, as I'm watching here from the BTCC at Snetterton, oh, Dan Lloyd's got up the inside. Can he slipstream? Nope, we can't find a gap pass. He goes back behind. My God, Dan Lloyd is looking very quick in one of the Hyundais. I think Dan Lloyd's on a very tiny budget this year for one of the independent teams. Sutton's fallen down to 6th. I didn't see what happened to him. Like, did he make a mistake? TV cameras didn't show it. I wonder how long Verstappen will stay out on his hard tyres, by the way. So I'm watching this BTCC race. Chris Smiley is up in 5th place behind Tom Chilton. A lot of these midfield runners are having an excellent weekend. Mikey Dubois is 7th. Ridiculously high. Osborne in 8th. Josh Cook is 9th. Taylor Smith 10th. Oh no, he's gone back to 11th. He's just been overtaken by Camish. And trying to see. For a moment I thought I was looking at pit lane, but Snetterton is such a weird track. I think it's based in Norfolk, near where Martin Brundle comes from. The ex-F1 driver, now current F1 commentator for the past nearly 3 decades. I don't think we're going to see much of Martin Brundle in the next few years, though, because he is now in his 60s. God, the BTCC race has actually calmed down a fair bit. Verstappen is still circulating on the track, and he's getting pretty close to lapping Bearman. And it looks like Ingram's out. Ingram is definitely out of the race, folks. Road bottom, still leading Lloyd. I don't know how this is going to work out for the championship, but I think with Ingram out of the race, I think Sutton should be safe in regards to him. And Camish has dropped down to 14th. What is going on with Dan Camish today? What on earth? The pole sitter is having a day, mate. He is in serious jeopardy right now. Well, fun fact, Norwegian sovereign funds owns 1.727%. Oh my God, someone's gone off. Massive off there. Is that Mikey Double going off on the grass? A huge off, but somehow he keeps the car on the road. Oh, it was Sam Osborne on the first lap. Okay. It's somehow, what's his name? Sam Osborne in one of the Vauxhalls. No, Ford Focus is in 9th place. My God, Lord. Crazy race, but Josh Cook has now overtaken Osborne for 8th place. Rainford's in 10th place. What? How the hell has he made it up here? And Dan Camish is now out of the points. He's in 16th. He's definitely got a problem with his car, mate. There's no way the Ford Focus is this slow. I mean, it's either that or he's put on the wrong tyres or he's got the wrong setup on, because I think he's definitely got damage. Car number 40, track limits. That's Taylor Smith. I'm just going to update you. Max Verstappen still leads the F1 race at Monaco, but he is only 8.6 seconds ahead of Norris, and he's still yet to pit. Row bottom leads the race after problems with Sutton, Camish, and of course Ingram, who's pretty much parked up for this race. And his team, his Virtue team, are going to have an absolute one hell of a job on their hands to fix this car for race 3, which will happen in about just less than 3 hours' time. I cannot guarantee that I'll be coming back to do a watch along for that, because the Indy 500 will be on. I don't even know whether I can find any live footage for the Indy 500, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have an absolute hunt job on my hands to get a live feed for that. but I do have a live feed for the BTCC. I'm going to look at the F1 order. Leclerc third, behind Norris, Piastri fourth. Looks like Leclerc jumped. Oh yeah, Leclerc's been ahead of Piastri all race anyway. Hamilton fifth, Alonso sixth, seventh Ocon, eighth Hadjar. Hadjar's done 2 stops. And Bottas been overtaken by Dan Lloyd for the lead. Fantastic move there by the independent. Dan Lloyd in the independent Hyundai. What a move that was. Caught Bottas out by surprise, and it looks like Dan Lloyd could be on for his first win of the season here at Snetterton. Brilliant opportunistic poacher's move there by Dan Lloyd, who's now going to have to try and hold on for the next 4 laps against the factory Napa Ford of Dan Rowbottom. And of course, Dan Lloyd does actually have extra boost, but Dan Lloyd retakes the lead. Fantastic move for Rowbottom to regain the lead of this race 2. Oh my God, how long? When is Verstappen going to peak? Of course, Lawson 9th. Albon still stuck behind him in 10th place, while Sainz has dropped off in 11th. Whilst the Mercedes are still stuck 12th and 13th behind the smooth operator. Josh Cook moves past Sutton into 7th place, and I've got to say, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm beginning to wonder who's going to be leading the championship in the BTCC after this. I mean, Dash Sutton, along with his teammate Camish, who's now in 17th, and his rival Tom Ingram are having a day, mate. Don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah, thank you for the update, Kiefer. Yeah, Max has finally had enough. Well, he's gonna. I think he could all come down in like 5th place, coming out of this pit stop sequence, and of course, with 50 laps left, I think all the front runners are gonna have to. I mean, it's gonna be a mystery of when they're gonna pit again. I think a lot of them are probably going to pit with like 5 to 10 laps remaining in the hopes of catching a safety car, to be honest, because they're all going on hard tyres. I think we're going to see a lot of, like, you know, a lot of drivers pitting with 2 or 3 laps remaining, which is going to be fun to watch. And I think this mandatory 2-stop strategy is going to go up in smoke. Car 32 has been given a black and white flag for track limits, and that is Rowbottom. The race lead, Rowbottom, has been given track limits, interestingly enough. God, these are really so lap times, by the way, at Snetterton, but it is a long, it's like a 3-mile track, so it's all like 1 minute 50 this. Ocon's pit, yeah, Ocon's done his 2nd pit stop, obviously. Gotta get that, well, it's a bit early to pit again, surely. Why is he pitting so early for his 2nd stop? I mean, the only way that can work if you can get clear air and, like, make up time on everyone else, because I wouldn't be surprised if all the front runners decide to pit with just 2 laps remaining. I mean, for all we know, Piastri will probably pit with, like, 10 laps to go, because I think he'll be like trying to get clear air on everyone else. This BTCC race has calmed down a fair bit, I've got to say. Norris back in the lead, Leclerc 2nd, Piastri 3rd, 4th, Verstappen just ahead of Hamilton in 5th. Alonso's on for 6th place. Hadjar, I don't know what Hadjar's trying to do, but, you know, he's got an 11-second buffer between himself and Alonso in front of him, so he better make good use of that clean air and try and make his hard tyres last the distance, because he is 55 seconds behind the race leader Norris. I don't know, I mean, really, he's only going to get 6th place in these conditions. Like, hope Alonso pits really late and burns his tyres out. Of course, as for the BTCC, I mean, it's all calmed down a lot now. Sutton stuck in ninth place. Camish drops to 20th. He's definitely got problems. Ingram well out of the order, meaning that the midfielders are having an absolutely fantastic day today with Morgan and Lloyd in second and third. Of course, Adam Morgan's just overtaken Dan Lloyd for second place. And now Morgan's the one pursuing Bottom for the lead, just 8 tenths behind him. But now it's only 7 tenths. And he's got 3 boosts remaining. Sainz is holding the Mercedes up, but now, oh yeah, he's trying to give Albon a gap. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I know, like, I did say that Sainz is probably not going to score points, and, well, Albon is still running on these medium tyres, capitalising upon the fact that Ocon's pitted twice for some reason. Lawson is still in front of him, but, you know, Albon, I think Albon's going to make his 2 pit stops really late. Although, to be honest, I think it probably might have been a smarter idea for Albon to pit now, to be honest, because I don't know what he's going to get out of being stuck behind Lawson for another 5 or 6 laps. It's all about track position at Monaco. Lawson's finally pitted, yeah. Morgan is still pursuing Bottom with a lap and a half to go here at Snetterton. Sutton 9th, Camish 20th. What on earth's gone on at that team? Napa Ford. Morgan's nowhere near close enough to Bottom to Dan Lloyd. I think it's dropped to 4th from what I can see from my screens. Chilton's now in the podium place. Yeah, but George Russell, I mean, Antonelli both having problems in qualifying, breaking down. So, I mean, with both of them going out in Q2, I mean, this is about as good as it gets for Mercedes. It just looks like the Mercedes is not very drivable at this track. And of course, it's now the final lap here at Snetterton with Bottom holding off Morgan for the lead. Looks like there's a few drivers who've run out of boost, but Morgan's still got one more boost left. Sutton has dropped down to 10th. I mean, at this rate, they could all be losing the championship lead. I saw in the last lap that Leclerc says it's a joke. Okay, that's interesting. But he is still second place, but he is 6 seconds behind the race leader. Gear shift feels like something out of 1972. Oh, is he having to manually shift the clutch? That's interesting. Very clunky then. I mean, obviously, that's a huge exaggeration because, of course, back in the 70s, you had to engage the clutch manually with your foot and, of course, wait to shift up and down the gears properly with your right hand on the lever. And, of course, this is the final lap, so just bear with me for 1 more minute as we will see whether Brand Bottom can hold off Adam Morgan for the race lead. Of course, it's some very frantic racing between, of course, Dan Lloyd pressing early on before dropping back to 4th place. Bottom, I don't know, really leading this majority of this race, but not really being able to pull away at all from the midfielders that have emerged behind him. But it looks like he's got just enough of a buffer to hold off Adam Morgan for the win. Yeah, of course, it's a semi-automatic flappy paddle gear shift, like obviously the 1989 Ferrari that Nigel Mansell Gerhard Berger used, which of course, funnily enough, he allowed Gerhard Berger to return from his San Marino Imola crash with his hands burnt because he didn't have to do any gear lever shifting with his hands anymore, since of course he had both hands on the steering wheel. And Dan Rowbottom has beaten Morgan for the race 2 win, Chilton 3rd, Lloyd 4th, Smiley 5th, Mikey Double 6th, last year's champion Josh Cook 7th, Osborne 8th, Rainford 9th, what I presume might not now be the championship leader, Sutton 10th, Camish down in 20th, and of course Ingram parking up with 10 laps to go in the hopes of fixing his car. And I've got no idea what's happened to the BTCC Championship, but I think Sutton is really now could be in a bit of bother now for the championship. Decent, solid drive there by the Napa Ford driver to win the race. And I'm back to the F1. Russell overtook Antonelli. Oh yeah, they're a lap down. Oh yeah, they're all a lap down now. Everyone up to Lawson is a lap down. And I will tell you the result of the championship standings of the BTCC once they show on my TV screen. Dan Lloyd, an independent, finishing 4th ahead of Smiley Dubois and Josh Cook. Very good day for the independent runners in the BTCC, that is. Zidane is an ambassador. Oh yes, Zinedine Zidane is an ambassador for Alpine. Team France is going down the wind, is going down the cauldron, everyone. Really, really not good for Team France, aka Team Enstone. The championship lead. Ash Sutton is still leading, but he now only leads Tom Ingram by 10 points. Jake Hill's now in 3rd place, 29 points behind. And Dan Rowbottom's also 29 points behind. And Chilton and Morgan only 35 points behind, with Dan Camish 41 points behind Sutton. Very close in the British touring cars, and I think that's going to be the last time I talk about it for the rest of this stream. So if you want to find out more, you can do that. Norris has lapped. Did he lap Ocon? And oh, he could be on the verge of lapping Ocon. Well, he could be lapping Ocon and Hadjar, but he will not. But I mean, Alonso's still only 51 seconds behind, funnily enough. I mean, how many laps is it? Well, we've got 42 laps to go. My God, grief, man. This big Monaco race is such a slow burner. I managed to fit in a 25-minute BTCC race, and I missed very little, to say the least. And now it's only, Max and Albert on the medium compounds, and Lawson using the soft compounds, although I don't think that's a good idea by Lawson. I think hopefully this means Lawson will have to pit again soon, and he'll be out of the points and not bothering Albert anymore. Thank you very much, Lawson, for annoying me today, because jeez, what a nuisance that guy is, honestly. Not as much as a nuisance as Gasly's brakes, which completely failed coming out of the tunnel and saw him hit Tsunoda. Hamilton's like, what, 20, less than 30 seconds behind the race leaders, so I think Hamilton will be safe. I don't think Hamilton's getting lapped today. Not in that Ferrari, no, but Hamilton's now 13 seconds behind Verstappen, 14 seconds, I beg your pardon, so it's not exactly a great race by the sister Ferrari. I don't know what you were right about. Oh, well, you're right about Lawson. Well, yeah, you were definitely right about Lawson. I'm not even going to debate you over him. Oh, Wait, Alonso's got problems. Oh, wait, yeah, Hadjar's overtaken it. Oh, wow, yeah, Alonso dropping back. Oh, yeah, Alonso's talked about Raskas. Well, no points again for the 43-year-old rookie. The engine has blown. Oh, yeah, problems for Mercedes in qualifying, and now problems for the customer Mercedes team, Aston Martin. Alonso is out of the race, everyone. And that's another point coming to Alpine's way, and Sainz is in the points now. Woohoo! Thank you very much, Mercedes. Although I hope Williams's Mercedes engines don't go puff either. Well, oh no. Anyway, never mind. Not my problem. And Fernando Alonso will join Pierre Gasly into retirement. And yes, commiserations to Will F1. Well, I kind of think Alonso might actually have some justification when he yelled down the radio, "I am the unluckiest racing driver in the world." Yeah, the guy after like what, 8 races, 8 races, has still got no points. It never rains for Alonso. It always pours down in buckets. But, you know, considering he stole the 2005 World Championship from Kimi, I to this day I still struggle to feel sorry for Alonso, to be honest. So, oh yeah, McLaren's allowed to like what's it? Pick and choose how the Mercedes engine is configured. Yeah, yeah. So what's it? So it sounds like Aston Martin have to like use a Mercedes engine that is set up and designed by the way the factory Mercedes team what it designed. That's interesting because, you know, 2 years ago people were raving about how Dan Fellows, who had come over from Red Bull, had managed to make the Aston Martin so quick. But of course, we all know the Red Bull design philosophy doesn't really gel very well with the Red Bull and Mercedes design philosophy. I mean, of course, the Mercedes engine is designed in a way to fit the factory Mercedes car specifically. And of course, with Aston Martin using a variety of like mostly ex Red Bull engineers, and of course, maybe a couple of others, maybe from McLaren and so on, and maybe a couple from Ferrari. Yeah, obviously, it's always going to have problems. Whilst, yeah, I mean, if you can pick and choose how the engine is set up and where you can position the engine specifically within the car, like how close to the gearbox and transmission. Oh, right, Red Bull were using, what was it? What was it? I can't remember. What was the lubrication called that they were using that was different to what Renault were using? Because I know at the time Renault were using what was BP oil. Because I know they had BP sponsorship on their car back 2018-ish, and I think Red Bull were using, I don't even know what Red Bull were using. I mean, it was something that clearly suits the Honda engine more now that they've got Honda's Mobile 1. Yes, that's it, Mobile 1. Yeah, not very clever. I mean, obviously, I know all the teams do use different fuel, oils, and lubricant packages, and it's pretty clear that Aston Martin have got the wrong liquid package to fuel their engine. So, I think Papa Stroll needs to have a real long talk with his team about what's going on with his Aston Martin. That is valuable points down the drain for the boys in green yet again. Proof that cars are painted green in F1 don't really tend to do very well. Although it has to be said though, 2 football teams wearing black and white this season, Newcastle and Tottenham, have finally started winning trophies again, which bodes well for me as a Derby County fan. But Mercedes still yet to pit. Yeah, but they can't get in the points. They are literally waiting for Sainz to pit. Oh dear. And it looks like Sainz is pretty much going to be Alpine's little roadblock for the rest of this race. Of course, the drivers who have already fulfilled their mandatory two-stop has been Hadjar, Ocon, Lawson, and Alpine. So those 4 drivers can drive until the end of the race. Alonso's not going to say sorry, mate. Alonso's just an arsehole, mate. He's just a prick. Alonso thinks the world revolves around him and that he's entitled to this and that, but no one's entitled to anything in F1. Like, this is why Alonso is now driving for Aston Martin, because every other team has fallen out with him. So, he's made his bed, now he better lie in it. And, I mean, of course, Sainz and the 2 Mercs could be in serious trouble now. Yeah, it's Monaco, mate. Of course there's going to be, well... I mean, we only had, like, the VSC for, like, the first 3 laps, so... And, of course, we've got 36 laps to go. Blimey, this is a long race. And Piastri is now, what? He's 8 seconds behind Leclerc, but he's actually gaining a little bit. I think Hamilton will not get lapped. There's no way he's getting lapped unless something bizarre happens. But the thing is, though, Hadjar, Ocon, and Lawson and Albon are lapped. But when the 5 guys in front of them pit, then I think they will return onto the lead lap. So it's not as weird as you think it. Wait, Albon's let Sainz gone past. Sainz has now... Oh, team orders at Williams. That's interesting. That's very interesting there. I don't know what's going on at the Williams pit garage, but Carlos Sainz has been allowed to go past Alex Albon down the swimming pool into 9th place. So I wonder what's that. That's a very interesting strategy there by the boys in navy blue. Down at Grove, Oxfordshire, Banbury. I mean, considering Carlos Sainz did a Father's Day advert for L'Oreal hair, like, why the hell did he invite his dad to do it? I don't know why. It's just... I mean, I think, Hadjar, his teammate Lawson, and Ocon will probably return to the lead lap. As for Albon, I don't know. It looks like Albon's just going to do a block job for his teammate because, of course, Sainz is still yet to make a pit stop, and I think the team want to make sure they get 3 points. And, yeah, Mercedes are going to probably come out this weekend with new points. I think Williams are trying to guarantee a double points finish with 3 points on the line and no opportunities of overtaking the road hog from New Zealand ahead of them. We've got 33 laps remaining. I think we will be able to finish this race within like 1 hour, 50 minutes. So Monaco not the best circuit for Oscar Piastri, and he's got quite a bit of work cut out for him. He's got his mirrors, so we'll see how that works out. I mean, I'm just wondering, has the crackling sound removed from my audio? Because I know there's been a couple of people complaining about it earlier on. Just like, you know, pour thumbs up if it's good, pour thumbs down if it's still got problems. Obviously, I've had 3 people like this video here at Crystal Racing, the Monaco Grand Prix live coverage, along with live coverage for the BTCC race. Oh yeah, you can still hear crackling. Okay, well, apologies for it, Roxford, but yeah, I don't know what I can do then, because I've tried everything I can, but I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. Unfortunately, I have heard a static sound quite often on my live streams. Look, Hamilton just doesn't have to pace this weekend to challenge the top 4. It's that simple. I mean, Hamilton's got plenty of clear air. Yeah, sorry, mate. I don't know what's going on. It's just not. I think Hadjar, Ocon, and Lawson will get back on the lead lap once the cars in front of them make their pit stops. Norris, Alpine might use Petronas next season. That's a smart idea. Use the same brand of lubricants as the factory team does. Always a smart idea. I know the 2 Mercedes are still not pitted, which means, yeah, dude, they're probably going to be in real trouble come the end of the race. Like, they're probably going to finish near where Sauber and Colapinto are. They're screwed, mate. Mercedes, this is a weekend from hell for the boys in black and silver. Qualifying has costed them horribly, and frankly, they're not getting points. Unless a freak safety car appears, in which case, yeah, they might actually have a chance. I mean, a safety car would be a total disaster for the 2 RBs and Esteban Ocon. Oh, you've run Petronas up. Okay, that's interesting. Like, I don't know if there's any petrol stations that sell you Petronas. I have never seen a single bottle of Petronas in any car store in my life, by the way. Because of course it is from Malaysia, and yeah. Oh, the 2 Sauber. Oh yeah. Bearman, Colapinto, and the 2 Saubers have gone 2 laps down, and of course Norris is now approaching the back end of the Alpine, Mercedes, Tsunoda, and Stroll train. So I think Alpine needs to hurry up, because if he wants to avoid being lapped, he needs to get a move on. I don't know whether they're sacrificing Alpine for today's result, but yeah, I think Albert is going to have to get his foot down now that Norris is approaching him to try and get him lapped. Because he is now, what, 15 seconds behind his teammate. Piastri's 18 seconds behind Max. That's all dear. Piastri's races. Oh, yeah, Piastri's made his second stop, so yeah, okay. I don't think that these cars will be bothered though, because obviously Norris needs to pit again. But Max is, yeah, but dude, Norris still needs to pit. Albon can stay out until the end of the race on these hard tyres. So I don't think he's that bothered about being lapped. Yeah, I mean, the front runners now pitting. I think it's going to be a matter of when and if Norris is going to head to the pits, because I think he's going to get track position. Oh, Piastri's just done the fastest lap, 1 minute 13.8 by the championship leader. Finally, going faster than Bearman's and Bortoletto's fastest laps. Yeah, no surprises there. Who's pitting, and remember, it is a mandatory 2-stop race to it for the sake of entertainment. Oh, wait, What's happened? Russell's overtaken. Oh, yeah, Russell's just overtaken Albon. What's happened to Albon? Oh, no. Oh, no. How on earth did Albon get overtaken? Dearie me. My God, we've just seen an overtake at Monaco. Gotta be kidding me. Oh, my God, Albon's actually... Oh, Sainz has come out of the pits. Sainz stays in front of Russell, though. Oh, Albon, mate, you really need to get your car. Oh no, I don't. Is he struggling in these hard tires? I don't know. I'm beginning to think he might be. Sainz is on the medium tires. Oh yeah, Russell overtook Albon going into the Nouvelle chicane. I mean, I know Russell fans were loving every second of it. I wanted to cry, to be honest. Frustrating. Thank you for 3 likes and everyone in the chat. Kiefer, Say, Regara, John Cartier, and of course Ruxford and Kiefer Chua, and anyone else I've not mentioned. Yeah, Mercedes are really screwed, aren't they? Like, I mean, their fastest laps have been a 1 minute 16.9 for both drivers. I know they've been stuck in traffic, but gotta say it, Mercedes car's just looking dreadful around the Principality. Although to be fair, Russell's now getting stuck behind Sainz, so he has done a purple sector 1 and a purple sector 2, but he is closing up very rapidly on the Williams. So, I'm interested to see what Russell's fastest lap after this is going to look like. Of course, Max is only 4 seconds ahead of Norris. Let's see what is his fastest lap. It's a 1 minute 15.9. That's it. Sainz does a 15.3. So, oh dear, not very quick there by Mercedes. He's found another second, but that's it. He's still about 2 seconds slower than the McLarens, and yeah, someone's had their message ultra review. So yeah, do not use bad language or any sort of discriminatory language in the chat, because obviously it will be censored by the YouTube algorithm, not me. Oh, it's a drive-through for Russell. Drive-through penalty. So, I don't know what Russell did, but he's got a drive-through penalty or a 10-second penalty. I don't know which one, but that's worked out horrifically for the Mercedes lead driver. Oh dear. Deary me, it's gone wrong there. Albon is struggling with these new hard tyres. Oh no. Albon does not like these hard tyres, and well, I don't know what it is. He just doesn't seem to be getting a handle on these hard tyres for some reason, and that's probably why he used the medium tyres in his first 2 stints. And truth be told, I think it would have been wiser for Albon to have stayed out much longer in his second set of mediums. How is Hadjar lap? Because Well, he's just a lot slower than the top five, I'm afraid. I mean, at first I thought it was because of the fact that the leaders are not pitted for a second time, but it just looks like he just hasn't got the pace to keep up because, I mean, his own fastest lap is, what, 2 seconds slower than Piastri's? Mind you, his fastest lap is 6 steps slower than his own teammate Lawson, who's actually been quite quick this weekend. Lawson have a fastest lap of a 15.37. Lawson's flying, by the way, folks. Where the hell has he found all this pace from? Oh. Lawson did plenty of clear air, no one holding him up. Mind you, Hamilton's now on the verge of lapping Hadjar. So yeah, I mean, everyone else outside the top five is really crippled in terms of pace. Really slow, to be honest. I saw lap by lap, George has put 3 times. Yeah, I did say Russell's got a drive-through penalty. I don't know why exactly, but that's going to be no points for Mercedes today, if we're going to be honest. Sainz has pitted, I think. And Russell's gone into the pits, I presume, to do his penalty. That's Sainz in, yeah. 9th and 10th place are pitted. Russell and Norris will lap them along with Leclerc. Albon will regain position. Probably. Oh no, he's come out behind the sights of Russell. Oh dear, that didn't work at all. Oh yeah, because he had. Oh, was it the overtake on Albon that was illegal? Oh right, because Russell was supposed to give the position back, but he refused to. So obviously now he has to do the penalty. Yeah, well. There was me sitting there thinking, how the hell did Albon lose 10th place like he did? Now it makes sense. It's Monaco. Like, had it been a legal overtake, oh yeah, he left the track and gained an advantage, obviously. Yeah, honestly, let's be real here, folks. It's not like the Mercedes have got a car that's anywhere near quick enough to be like able to pull overtaking maneuvers like that coming out of the tunnel. Just so you know, the crackling noise is coming from this packet of truffles in my hand, so... Yeah, mate. I mean, Verstappen needs to pay it, to be honest. Yeah, YouTube can be so annoying. I don't know why. I don't know why they're so hypersensitive now. Because of current events happening in the real world. You know, they're trying to lecture us about on that adolescence documentary drama on Netflix, and it's just, oh, they just want to censor the social media now. Like, I found myself getting my own comments censored on other people's channel because, I don't know, I used the wrong word or something. I don't know why they're just so sensitive, the algorithm. I think the other thing is they now use AI to monitor the algorithm. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So now the YouTube algorithm censors the word illegal. That's interesting because the only other word I can think of that could be bad could be maybe saying the word illegal drugs, illegal substances. But what exactly could be like, I don't know, far right, racist, sexist, homophobic about using the word illegal? I don't know. Anti-Semitic? I have no idea what it could be. That's just baffling. I know what you mean, John. John, I know what you mean, but that's just so strange. But enough of crying about YouTube. Verstappen's now holding Norris up. You know what it is? Verstappen is praying for a safety car now, isn't he? He's praying for a safety car. He's just going to try and ruin everyone else's race. I hope a safety car appears. It does make you wonder, doesn't it, since they are in a championship fight, that they're hoping that Norris gets distracted by Verstappen's rear end and Leclerc dives down the inside somewhere, going into Neuville chicane, probably being the best place. Yep, absolutely. Heck, they could get, just capitalise upon a VSC. That would be enough for Verstappen to take advantage, slip into the pit lane, and get a free pit stop. Although having said that, I think what's his name? Yes, you are correct. Xabi Alonso will join Real Madrid. Worst kept secret, to be honest, and frankly, I think Real Madrid will probably go back to being fairly competitive, unlike Manchester United, who I know this might seem unbelievable, but you think you've hit rock bottom, you think you've had your worst ever football match. So far, things will get worse next season. I can guarantee you that. I mean, they're gonna have to sell Garnacho and Fernandez to keep because they've got £1 billion debt at Old Trafford. So yeah, 10 Hog's going to Leverkusen. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You can't point your finger at an individual player or an individual manager. The board, the Glazers, Jim Radcliffe are the ones who are ruining that club. But back to the F1 race. I don't want to talk about Man United anymore. I've said more than enough about that club. By the way, congratulations to Tottenham Hotspur for breaking their 17-year duck. I'll say it. I've always actually had something of a soft spot for Tottenham. Yeah, but dude, you still finish in the top 6 when that happens. So come on, really? I don't think United fans have truly grasped how bad they truly are now. Leeds United, Newcastle United have been to the Championship. Leeds have been to League One. So, trust me, Man City have been to League One. You're not too big to go down, Verstappen still holding everyone up. His medium time is now 32 laps. Did Russell serve his penalty? Because, I'm really confused because he's got to do, 2 pit stops, surely. Because according to my graphics, he's still only done 1 pit stop. Did he serve a penalty in his pit stop? I mean, he's only, what, 1.5 seconds ahead of Russell? Yeah, mate, how on earth are they going to afford that new stadium? Seriously, mate, they're going to have to scrap it. It's not I mean, if this carries on, they're going to start having empty seats at Old Trafford. They're not even going to be able to sell 70,000 tickets anymore because who the hell wants to watch Luke Shaw and Mason Mount waddle around on the pitch? And the worst thing is, United can't even sell those 2 players on for any profit because they've lost. They're I don't know, £1 or £2 million their transfer back. Old Trafford is a rust bucket. Yeah, rats in the kitchen, leaky stadium, leaky roof, a bunch of mafia bosses in charge of the club. Got 70 laps to go. I mean, Max still needs to pit, by the way, because it is a mandatory two-stop race. I think at this rate, Max is going to have probably will pit with like 3 laps to go, but that will drop him down to 4th place because he's got a 52-second buffer over Hamilton, so he can actually gamble as long as he wants now because Hamilton is just falling away. Thank you for 4 likes here at Crystal Racing. Has Hamilton even bothered pushing? I don't know, mate. I don't think he. Dude, I think Hamilton's just struggling with his goal this weekend, mate. I think he's just settled for 5th place. Like, I think he's out of it. He's in no man's land, and he's 20 seconds ahead of No, he's like a minute ahead of Hadjar, funnily enough. So yeah, he's literally in a desert all alone in 5th place, driving the loneliest race you can at a track. Funnily enough, the slowest and tightest track on the whole calendar, with the shortest track length, weirdly enough. So I don't know how he's done it, but Hamilton is 44 seconds behind Piastri and 65 seconds ahead of Hadjar. Antonelli's not pitted. Yeah, I think I don't even know, mate. Antonelli's waiting for a safety car now, isn't he? I think he knows that Mercedes know they can't score points with Antonelli, so they're just going to gamble. I don't know. Who knows? They could well hope for a safety car and try and pit him twice. They're just going to have to gamble now, aren't they? I don't know. But is this just a glorified testing session for Antonelli at this point? The glorified test session for Antonelli, who's still got a bit to learn. Like, yeah, he's quick, but his racecraft is nowhere near fully developed yet. Tommy thought Anthony had a chance of winning. That's just baffling, mate. I don't even know, mate. That's just crazy. Oh, these F1 YouTubers these days and their weird predictions. Like, well, yesterday I predicted Lawson would go out in Q1, so I was wrong there. I also thought that, what else did I think would go out in Q1? I thought Ocon would go out in Q1, but I was also wrong there. And now Lawson and Ocon are having the last laugh. What the hell? He predicted Alonso would win the race. Now that is laughable, mate. That is beyond that. That is absolute arse cheeks, that prediction. Oh, Tomo F1, the other guy. Yeah, he thought Alonso would win. Dude, it's not 2023 anymore. Like, this year's Aston Martin is an absolute pile of garbage. Like, not even a driver like Alonso can somehow get that car on the podium. Like, he was running like 7th before his engine went kapong. 13 laps remaining. It feels like a lifetime ago now this race started. Got at least 18 minutes remaining of this race before they probably get the checkered flag. And of course, there is officially 35 minutes remaining on the time limit. He's not quit yet. Yeah, because we're all waiting to see how slow the 2026 Aston Martin chassis is. If it's slow, then he'll probably walk off, and then Alonso will probably quit mid-season. And Papa Stroll will have a huge dilemma in his hands with his lead driver and his lead designer out of the team. Yeah, Russell needs to pit again. Oh yeah, he's going to have to pit twice because, of course, that first stop was a penalty. Of course, Russell has actually come out 7 seconds ahead of his teammate Antonelli, so Antonelli is just holding everyone up. Yuki, Stroll, Bearman, Colapinto, and the two Saubers. Dude, he's holding Sauber up. Oh my goodness me, Kimi. Not looking very Kimi-esque by Antonelli right now. Not living up to his famous middle name. And Sainz has returned P9. Of course, you have to see it on my track map. Verstappen needs to build a gap 2 seconds. Yeah, but Verstappen's going to have... I don't think it's a case of Verstappen needing to build a gap. I think it's more a case of Verstappen praying for a VSC, a safety car, or, of course, a red flag to come his way. He's just rolling. He's just putting all his eggs in one basket now. Hoping for a miracle, because he's got a 54-second gap over Hamilton. So, yeah, I mean, this is a good idea. This is a great idea to gamble by Max. Stroll spitted, and he comes out in last place. But truth be told, that's not a reflection of Stroll this weekend. That's more a reflection of how much Antonelli is holding the back pockets up. Got a lot to learn, that lad, I've got to say. Lots of raw potential, but, I mean, his racecraft this weekend and his decision-making has been completely terrible. And I have to say, as much as I don't want to give him a terrible grade, I've got to give him a grade F. A grade F for his performance, because he's just had a daymare here at the Principality. Dude, I'm not going to, Stroll, as much as I want to make fun out of Stroll, dude, he's been held up in the Kimi Antonelli train, so he couldn't do anything about it, can he? Goodness me, everyone up to Alpine's been lapped twice. Oh dear. Piastri has the fastest lap of a 13.745. Hadjar's Ocon's fastest lap is a 15.1. Lawson's fastest lap is a 15.3. Oh, Carlos Sainz's fastest lap was a 14.5. But yeah, because of all the traffic, he can't. Well, he's been lapped twice with his teammate. Russell's quickest lap has been a 13.86. Oh, wow. Track position really has played a massive role, unsurprisingly. Whilst Kimi's fastest lap, oh dear, it's only oh yeah, he's not pitted yet, but he's a 16.9. And he's done 65 laps on these hard tyres, so, yeah, he's made mistakes, but he has... I mean, I don't know whether to say it's impressive, because, of course, you can't really overtake it here. Dude, I don't even think it's fair to give Monaco a race rating, because it's Monaco, mate. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you can't expect too much entertainment at a track like Monaco ever, so... Unlike, other tracks where you can do, like, I don't know, A, B, C's, D's, E's for the race entertainment. Monaco, it's just I'll give it a rating out of an M, a grade M for Monaco. It's Monaco, like, there's no point rating it. Truth be told, it's actually really hard to rate drivers' performances here, because you are stuck. I mean, qualifying is absolutely key. Track position is key. It's part of the strategy and what the pit mechanics do, what your race engineer decides you should do with the tyres. So, I mean, even if Max wins today, I don't think it's fair to say he deserves like a grade A or anything, because essentially, if the VSC, the safety car or red flag comes out, he's got lucky. He's got lucky. That's the only way I can rate it. You rate Sochi as an Oza racetrack. Yeah, Sochi sucks, mate. Sochi absolutely sucks. To be honest, I'm actually going to refrain from giving drivers ratings for this weekend because Monaco is just a unique track with its own challenges that do not compare to anywhere else except for maybe Singapore. But Singapore actually has a couple of long straights in it. But it's still very hard to overtake, and I think track precision does make a difference there as well, but not as much as Monaco. Because you've got what's it, a run down through Ruffles Boulevard and the start finish straight we can overtake. Russell's pitted again, no surprise. You don't even need to tell me that. 13.4 is the fastest lap by Russell. He's flying on these medium tyres in clean air, but it's going to be to no avail because, of course, Mercedes are out of the points. Yeah, obviously he's had to do a penalty, hasn't he? Oh, considering how slow Antonelli is, he's still going to come out in front of his teammates. So, yeah. Yeah, one of those pit stops was a penalty, Keeper, indeed. And Russell will emerge most likely just ahead of his teammate, would he? Oh, yeah, he has. Just very close, though, but Russell is now half a minute behind Sainz. Meanwhile, Alpine is now half a minute behind Lawson, so he's lost about half a minute holding all the other cars up, the Mercedes up, just so his teammate can get a point this weekend. Nice teamwork there by Williams. Yeah, but Max is hoping for a safety car. Max wants a safety car. It's that simple, mate. We all know what the Red Bull strategy is for Max. Get a safety car, get a VSC, or get a red flag. Although, of course, the way things are going, he's probably going to pit. But what's it, with one lap remaining? I don't think he's going to do a Michael Schumacher like when Michael pitted on the final lap at 1998 Britain to serve his 10-second stop-go penalty. Oh, it's a 30-second penalty. Is that it? 30 seconds. I mean, the only way Max can get away with that, though, but Max will probably pit anyway, because, I mean, the only way he can win in these circumstances is without pitting or getting a penalty is Norris, Leclerc, Piastri get a penalty. Antonelli's gone to last place. Antonelli has dropped to fourth last now. Yeah. Onto the hard tyres. No, onto the medium tyres, I beg your pardon. Hulkenberg has done a 25-lap stint on soft tyres. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Thank you for 6 likes here at Crystal Racing. We've got 6 laps remaining. Will Max Verstappen get his red flag? / safety car / VSC? To be honest, it doesn't look like any other drivers in trouble right now, are they? He's got to pray for... I mean, wait. I just thought... Could Tsunoda crash out? Could we see a bit of 2008 Singapore crack off with Tsunoda? Horner gets on the radio. Yoki, order Portier. And then, of course, coming out of Portier, Tsunoda then blasts through the tunnel and then spins his car in the braking zone, going down towards Neuville chicane, and then he leaves his car stuck in an awkward position on the exit of the Neuville chicane. It won't be a crash, but it will be Tsunoda accidentally stalling his car. 69. Oh, yeah, he's done 69 laps. Oh, yeah, Tsunoda needs to pit, doesn't he? Because he did 1 lap. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Because he pitted after, Bortoletto brought out the VSC, didn't he? Oh, yeah, I think, you know what? Yuki's going to probably pit in the next lap or so. He'll pop on a new pair of soft tyres and he'll probably go and deliberately make a massive mistake somewhere where, okay, it's not like a massive crash, but his front wing comes flying off. And then they have to bring out the VSC. I could see Red Bull doing something really dirty with Tsunoda. Like, I know there's going to be loads of suspicions, but what about RB? What about, oh no, they've got points, haven't they? They're not gonna throw these points away, are they? No, it's only Tsunoda that could do it. I don't know. Could Tsunoda deliberately stop his car in the middle of the track and force Bearman to hit into him? And Bearman tears off his front wing and there's debris on the track? Who knows? Who knows? I know obviously everyone will protest, but I think Red Bull will have to like present all the evidence to prove that it was a racing incident and it was not deliberate or intentional. Yeah, but dude, Verstappen is in a championship fight against Norris and Piastri. Like, this could make a difference towards the end of the season. Like, I mean, if they do find Red Bull, then like, yeah, but I don't think Red Bull care if they get fined heavily. Like, I think they will only care if Max Verstappen gets disqualified for benefiting through a teammate fixing the result. That's the only way they can disqualify him, if they prove guilt on Tsunoda's part if he does something dirty. But 3 laps remaining, folks. Verstappen, I mean, when is he gonna? He's gonna have to pay if he wants to follow the rules, because otherwise, if he doesn't, he's, well, according to Ruxford, he's getting a 30-second penalty. So really, what a waste of time, eh? That's going to be interesting. Could that be the final death knell for Christian Horner's position at Red Bull? You know, we had those allegations last season from a female employee. He's had Jos Verstappen beg the team to sack him. Tsunoda's pitted, yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, it looks like Tsunoda's going to have to do something. He's probably going to have to run off the road by himself or something. Obviously, the 2 RBs are going to come flying past him, and I think the 2 Saubers are going to go past him too. So, yeah, he's going to come out in 17th place in front of Antonelli. 2 laps. Yeah, 2 laps to go with Verstappen now heading for the start-finish line. This is going to be interesting. Could we see something really interesting happen? Hamilton is now 47 seconds behind Verstappen, so I don't know what it is though. I mean, this is the thing, like, I wouldn't put it past Red Bull trying to do a crash gate, because I mean, I don't think they care about how much money they get fined, but I think the only thing that could hurt them if, oh, Verstappen's pitted on my timing screen, yeah, we're not getting crash gate, we're not getting crash gate. Oh, what a shame. Well, my track map is showing Verstappen still leading, but my timing screen here is showing that he has obviously dropped to 4th place, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-3 finish for the boys in Papayar, so you should be very happy, John. Very happy that we're not going to get any illegal wrongdoings here at the Principality. We're not getting Crashgate 2.0. Well, you know, if a VSC had come out without anything involving Tsunoda, then Red Bull would have been a bunch of geniuses. but it wasn't to be. So, you know, it was always worth a good try by the energy drink boys. Dude, everyone would have immediately called Tsunoda out if he'd done something funny. Because, oh yeah, could you remember, what was it, the 2022 Dutch Grand Prix when Mercedes looked like, was it? Yeah, Dutch Grand Prix where I think Mercedes were fighting Hamilton. No, Mercedes were fighting Verstappen for the race win, and then Yuki Tsunoda in the system AlphaTauri stopped out on track and brought out that late VSC, which ruined Mercedes' chances of winning the race. They got away with it there. Like, I mean, there were loads of Hamilton and Mercedes fans that were begging the FIA to investigate, but nothing came of it. And yes, Norris, Leclerc, Piastri are your front three, or your first three, or first, second, and third. Oh, what's going on with the timing streak? Oh yeah, Max is stuck behind Matt Rudders. Max comes over the line in fourth place, as predictably so. Hamilton, has he actually finished the race? Yeah, they got confused again. They got confused. They forgot that George Russell was in the race at Bahrain, by the way, folks. But according to my timing stream at the F1 website, Hadjar, Ocon, Lawson, Albon and Sainz will take the points. That'd be a ridiculous excuse to always Yuki Tsunoda. He's a bit of a loose cannon. No, mate. That excuse will not wash with anyone. And Lando Norris takes the fastest lap with a 13.22. And it's a double points finish for the Racing Bulls. For the first time since I don't even know when. It was actually a good race by Lawson for once. I can't believe what I'm saying. Lawson had a good race weekend. And double points again for Williams, who are in a very comfortable 5th place in the Constructors, so there's not much else to say about that. Yeah, I mean, Tsunoda crashes a lot, but he doesn't. It's not intentionally, though. It's just him pushing the limit too hard above his ability level. And for those of you who wondered what happened to Gasly, Gasly's brake failed and saw him hit the back of Tsunoda. Was out. Alonso's engine failed whilst running in a comfortable 7th place. Oh, God, please, someone please give Pierre Gasly another chance at another team, because I am done with Alpine and their absolute garbage. I am done with that absolute clown, that circus of a team. Oh yeah, there could be clampdowns on the wings for the McLaren next weekend, which is going to be interesting. I think obviously that means that Piastri's championship lead will be reduced to just 2 points. Squeaky bum time for Oscar, as his teammate is finally cleaning up his house, cleaning up his room, as Jordan Peterson would say. He's cleaning out his closet, as Eminem used to sing or rap about. Norris finally with a commanding, dominating weekend where he kept his nerve, apart from obviously turn 1 on the first lap. But once he got through turn 1, to be honest, I don't think Norris was ever threatened for the race win. I know Verstappen and Red Bull tried to stay out in the hopes of a late VSC / safety car / red flag, but it never came. It was a calculated gamble, though, and 4th place was always where he was going to finish. Yeah, Lando. I mean, it's the second home Grand Prix for most drivers on the grid anyway, Monaco, because of course they don't have to pay tax, unless you're French, of course, where Ocon and Gasly don't live in Monaco for those reasons. I think Ocon lives in Switzerland and Gasly lives in Italy, where I think Italy have recently also introduced a tax-free scheme for wealthy individuals. I think because of that, Kimi Räikkönen has also recently moved to Italy as well, because of course tax-free money, tax-free income. F1 drivers taxes, I mean, okay, I know what's it. I know because obviously they have to travel over the world. They do pay taxes in certain countries they work in. Because it's really complicated how F1 drivers do their taxes, which is, I know people say, oh, they're all a bunch of tax dodgers, but like, apparently from what I've read about like Lewis Hamilton and his like why he lives in Monaco is that, when he comes to Britain to work for the week in the British Grand Prix, pays a week's worth of taxes there. Then he goes to France, pays a week's worth of taxes there. Goes to Azerbaijan, taxes there for a week, etc., etc., etc. What else? Norris, Leclerc, America, Canada. You get it. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Say like. It would be like bidding the FA Cup because I mean, let's be honest though, would be more likely to see the League Cup get binned if they ever wanted to reduce like domestic English football fixtures. Although it'd be a bit of a shame because the League Cup is a competition where the underdog teams have more of a chance of winning a trophy. Like we saw with Birmingham, Swansea, Middlesbrough, Leicester City over the years. I mean, that's the other thing with Monaco. It's the only track that literally you cannot. Well, it's literally like riding a bicycle inside your bathroom. And of course, I don't know what time the Indy 500 starts, but I will be getting prepared for that. Yeah, commiserations to Will. I mean, the thing is, also, we have to remember the Monaco Grand Prix forms the third round of the Triple Crown of motorsport. Indy 500, which is taking place tonight, and of course the Le Mans 24 Hours, which takes place in France next month. Graham Hill remains the only driver to have completed all three legs of the Triple Crown of motorsport. Let's look at his CV, everyone. And just so you know, yes, Jordan Henderson has been called up for England again. Jim flipping Radcliffe, ruining everything he touches yet again. Man United losing the Europa League final to the eternal bottle drops, Bottleham Hotspots, and Mercedes going pointless at Monaco. Hilarious. Yeah, the 1966 Indy 500. Yeah, but Monaco is a huge part of F1 history. Look, what was it, 1966, he won the Indy 500. He also won the Le Mans 24 Hours in 1972 with... I'm trying to think, who was it? Matra and his teammate Henry Pascarolo helped Graham Hill complete the third and final leg of the Triple Crown. Back then, he used to be licensed by the ACO. Sadly, though, Zhou lost his life when he collided with a Ferrari GT. Leclerc picks up back-to-back podiums on his own track, absolutely correct. And Graham Hill won the race by 11 laps over his teammates, Francois Sever and Hayden Ganley, who, of course, Francois Sever would also tragically lose his life a year later in 73, whilst Hill passed away in 1975. 5:38. Thank you for adjusting it to UK time, John. It is, of course, going to be basically 38 minutes past 6 in Central Europe. And of course, wherever you live in South Africa, I don't know what. I mean, I think South Africa is obviously in the same time zone as most of Europe. from what I can see on the world map. Whilst Hayden Ganley is actually still alive to this day, amazingly enough. And Henry Pascarolo is also still alive and well. Why are you blaming George Russell though? What happened? Did his car break down? Because I saw, Anthony crash in Nouveau chicane, and I saw, George Russell had problems coming out of Portier in qualifying. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Cheers, say. And of course, Graham Hill also won the Monaco Grand Prix 5 times, which of course it was only until the legendary Ayrton Senna came along, where Ayrton Senna won the Monaco Grand Prix 6 times. And of course, I think this is the first time we've ever seen Lando Norris win this prestigious race here at the Principality. I mean, I know there's going to be someone in my chat that's going to say, yeah, Lando Norris is a legend for winning the Indy 500. I'd like to thank Jim Radcliffe and Ineos, and of course the Glazers, for destroying everything they touch, as always. And unfortunately, like I said, you're going to be stuck with them for many years to come. And this is what the race winner has to say. Amazing, long, grueling race. We could push for the whole race and we won. Congratulations, Lando. Dreamed of it as a kid. Max was backing you up, but then Max had... Yeah, and Hamilton did a good job. I mean, I think he did a maximum in pre-trying circumstances. Last year's race winner, Charles Leclerc, I think, obviously... saying congratulations to McLaren, saying he did a better job. I mean, he beat you in qualifying, that's why he won the race. You know, I mean, Charles Leclerc at least can say he won the race last year, so we'll never get any more questioning about his ability to win around the streets of Monaco. Piastri's going to have to wait another year to try and win this prestigious race, and maybe have an attempt of winning here at the streets of Monaco. Look at that. First and third. Very nice there. Very nice. And by the way, I've got to tell you something. Next weekend, I will not be doing any live streams for the Spanish Grand Prix because I will be in France. So, I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you're anywhere in the south of France and you see me, if I see a 5'7" Chinese guy walk around, that could be me. It could be me. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, let's face it, the Spanish Grand Prix is even worse than Monaco. Like, I really hate the Spanish Grand Prix. Like, this era of F1 car doesn't work around Monaco at all anymore. Around Circuit de Catalonia, I beg your pardon. What am I talking about? It's even worse there than it is here.
There you go. P1 in Monaco, baby. Monaco, baby! Yeah, baby! Woo! We did it. Well done. We won in Monaco. That's a dream. Well done, guys. Unbelievable job. Amazing weekend. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Are they still nearly a minute ahead? Charles on medium and McLaren's on hard, Alpine 16. Very close to each other fighting. You're not answering the question. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm just asking, am I a minute behind or? It's 48 seconds.
I don't know why. I hate it when drivers wear white helmets because it makes them look like a test driver when they have to wear a blank white helmet. 16 wins at Monaco. I'm trying to think. Has any team won more often here at Monaco than McLaren? Yes, a record 16 wins for McLaren, the kings of the streets of the Principality. Unreal, unbelievable. Let's see, winners. 6 wins for Senna, 5 each for Hill and Schumacher, 4 for Prost, just like his 4 championships. Norris statement, Wade, you better believe it, Will. Lando has proven you wrong. He has seen your messages on social media, and he's on a mission to prove Will F1 very wrong, as the championship gap between Piastri and Norris closes to just 2 points. You get a bit ready, Will. Your favorite driver, Lando Norris, is on his way to glory. So we've still got 0 points for the season. His engine, God grief. I actually feel sorry for Fernando now, because he was actually running 7th and he was actually having a good race, but his car just went kapong. And it has to be said, Aston Martin using wrong lubricants and fuel and oils for that car is, that Mercedes engine specific, is obviously now causing them some serious problems, along with the fact they've not been able to update it very well. Max has won here twice, Alonso twice, Hamilton 3 times, Vettel twice, Weber twice, Coulthard twice, Lauda, Scheckter, Morris, Trinidad, probably the most obscure name in this list, has won it twice. Fangio twice, which is surprising, but I think that's because obviously Monaco didn't run a race for like 5 years in the early 50s. Look at that, 16 wins for the Macca boys, 11 for Ferrari. Of course, Leclerc taking win number 11 last season for Ferrari. Mercedes, obviously, oh yeah, that's also the non-championship race they also highlighted there. Obviously 952 and 935, 36 and 37 were non-championship races, and of course 36 and 37 were part of the former pre-war European Championship, where likes of Rudolf Caracciola, Bernd Rosemeyer and Tazio Nuvolari were competing in the old Grand Prix Championship in the pre-F1 era of the sport. Whilst so Mercedes actually only have 5 official wins, 5 F1 wins around this track, whilst Lotus and Red Bull have 7 wins. So technically, I think in the F1 history books, Mercedes are actually ranked below Lotus, Red Bull, and they have the same number of wins as BRM. Oh. Well, I mean, you know, he's only 2 points behind Oscar. Like, Oscar's won 4 times, but yet Lando, after just 2 wins, has already closed the gap. Bugatti won here 4 times in the non-F1 era. Alfa Romeo only have 1 official F1 win. Williams have only won here 3 times. That's surprising. That's very surprising. Oh, 3-point lead. Thank you for my mistake. Thank you very much. But yeah, Williams have the same number of wins here as Cooper and Tyrrell, who of course no longer run F1 teams. And if you include Benetton and Renault statistics for Alpine, Alpine have won here 4 times. And of course, yes, no fastest lap point. Thank you very much for correcting me on that one. Where are we? Yep. 2025 average weekend for the Williams boys. Yeah, but it's Monaco, mate. What can you do? You can't overtake. It is what it is. There's no point crying about it. Yeah, but I don't think it really matters in terms of who finished ahead of who between the 2 Williams boys, because obviously Albon allowed Sainz to go and open up a gap so that Sainz could guarantee a points finish. So really, it was a team effort for the boys in blue. 25 points is now the margin between Piastri and Verstappen, as that 4th place has meant Verstappen has dropped further adrift of Piastri. Yep, you go and enjoy your evening meal, Cartier, as of course the Indy 500 will begin in just 1.5 hours time. And of course, for those in America, they've also got the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlottesville coming up, so they're having the longest day of us all. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tactics and team play involved, so, you know, I'm not going to rate anyone any scores, to be honest, because it just feels like qualifying decided basically 90% of today's results. Thoughts on the Albon-Russell incident? I think, what was it? Russell got a drive-through penalty for, what was it? Going off the track to overtake Albon. So, I mean, really, like, I kind of think, what's it? You know, I mean, it's very hard to overtake at Monaco. I think I'm not going to criticise Russell too much because I think he just got frustrated being held up by Albon at track like the Principality. So it is what it is. And of course, I think qualifying costed Mercedes quite heavily. So I don't think George Russell or Mercedes will be too frustrated, but it is just one of those things. Of course, because George Russell refused to give the position back to Albert, he was forced to serve his drive-through penalty. Oh yes, I know Kyle Lawson is doing double duty in NASCAR and IndyCar. Yeah, obviously they're miles ahead of Red Bull because Red Bull only have one car, to be honest. That's oh, they're 4 points ahead of Red Bull now. Interesting. Oh, that actually costed them heavily because those 12 points have allowed Red Bull to close up straight up behind Mercedes. Was oh, look, Ferrari have got 142 points, so Mercedes are now in deep trouble for second place. And all three teams have less than half of McLaren's points for the season. Because, of course, it was second and fifth for Ferrari this weekend for Leclerc. Hamilton, of course, Hamilton struggling so much for pace during the race. Williams remained in a very stable fifth place, 28 points behind ahead of their nearest rivals, Haas, who have less than half of their 54 points. Racing Bulls and Aston Martin remain 7th and 8th. Very good result for Racing Bulls, 6th and 8th. That's 12 points, I think, for Racing Bulls. Yeah, I think Hamilton's throwing a towel, to be honest. After his second pit stop, he had no reason to push. 12 points for Racing Bulls, which of course allows them to overtake Aston Martin, who scored nothing again. No points for the second race weekend in a row. And of course, they have not scored points in a full race distance since China, which is 2 months ago now. And Alpine, well, actually, I was wrong about Alpine being last. They're actually in 9th place. So, but it was only because Gasly scored 8th place at the Miami Sprint event that he got a point. Good grief, Alonso is in. I don't know. I think Hamilton's been absolutely battered by Leclerc so far this year because, let me just count. 79 points for Leclerc, 63 for Hamilton. Yeah, I agree with you, Will. We're all looking around here. Like, we all know Alonso's much better than Stroll. Like, you don't have to be worried about that. But, yeah. I mean, Alonso's bad luck has been something straight. I mean, you can tell Alonso clearly upset someone in his previous life really heavily. He just seems to have this knack of annoying people and making the racing gods want to spit at him and treat him like a pile of dirt. I don't know. I think, you know what it tastes like? I think Fernando Alonso probably deleted Napoleon in a previous life. 14-0 to Stroll. Blind me, Stroll. It's like watching, I don't know. It's kind of a bit like watching Tottenham beat Man United in their 4 previous games of football this season. Like, are Tottenham really a better team than Man United? Probably not, but yeah, Fernando Alonso, just like the Red Devils, is constantly taking L after L after L. I don't know, what a remarkable, well, it's not that much a remarkable weekend, but we did have quite a eventful weekend despite what Monaco is like. Will, stop taking the bait, mate. Stop taking the bait. I know, once Lady Luck starts smiling on Alonso again, we all know he's gonna blow Stroll out of the winds. He's going to blow him to the weeds. We all know that. Don't be worried about that. I mean, you've got to realise everyone is just trolling you on social media about Alonso being washed. Even as the biggest Kimi Räikkönen fan, I know deep down Alonso's probably still got a couple of good races still left in him before he retires. I mean, to be fair, this is almost like a repeat of the start of 2022 for Alonso again, Alonso colliding with Mick Schumacher, Alonso having engine failures. I know. Roxford. Yeah, it actually made it more entertaining, the two stops. It actually kept it interesting because it was interesting to see whether, Verstappen's gamble would work if the VSC had appeared. And I think he would have, Red Bull and Max would have been a bunch of geniuses had they got that safety car. And I think McLaren might have well have come to regret keeping pitting Norris and Piastri so soon in the race, along with, of course, Ferrari and Leclerc. It could have worked. In the end, no, it didn't work, but it would have been one ahead of a gamble. And I think, I was sitting there thinking for most of this race, thinking that McLaren and Ferrari would probably pit late as well in order to cover off Max, but surprisingly, they decided to do their second stop pretty early, much earlier than I thought they would. Very surprising, that. I don't know who you're talking about. William Afton, Hamilton is Cassidy. I don't know who you're talking about, Keeper. I think you're going to have to explain it. Oh, yeah, well. I don't know. I suppose Kimi Räikkönen is probably going to start manifesting some good luck for Robin if Robin ever gets to race in F1 in like 10 years' time. And who knows, Robin might well not have the same talent as his dad, but Robin might well be the one who keeps knocking his way to championship and wins out of nothing. Yeah, I think too. What happened in 2007, 2010, and 2012, and of course his stint at McLaren Honda was enough payback, to be honest. He pretty much paid karma in like 10 times over in those stints at McLaren and Ferrari, so I'm not really bothered about what happens to Alonso anymore. To be honest, I just feel sorry for him at this point, because, yeah, this is pretty comically bad. Like, I mean, it could be worse, he could have died, he could have, well, I know one of my all-time favourite guitarists from a guy named Chuck Schuldiner from a band I can't actually say the full name of, passed away because of a brain tumour when he was 34 years old in 2001. Chuck Schuldiner. Just type in Chuck, SCHULDINER into a search engine, you'll probably find his name. You know what, I'll do it for you instead. Sorry. It could be worse. It could be so much worse. Can't even spell. Yeah. Can't say his name, I'm afraid, because of what this YouTube is like. Go, just Stroll to goal. Only lived 34 years. The unlucky bloke. It could be so much worse. I think he did 7 albums, 8 albums if you include what he did with his other band, Control Denied. I think he was also writing his second album for Control Denied, but unfortunately his brain cancer ruined his life and he couldn't complete his second album. So yeah, very, very sad end. But they could be. I mean, Alonso fans should be thankful that their man is still racing around at the age of nearly 44 years old. 44 years old. That's crazy. Like he is like more than double the age of someone like Kimi, Antonelli, Hadjar, Bearman, Colapinto, I think, Bottas, who's on his driving agency, Doohan. He's old enough to be their dad, to be their father. There's a championship order. It's just 3 points that separate Norris and Piastri. Gasly's, but yeah, I know. Gasly's just Gasly's still 14th though because of points in Bahrain and of course in Miami. So Alpine have got a really bad car, so there's not much to say. And to be honest, I don't think Alpine deserve anything more than 9th place in the constructors because I mean, the number 2 seat situation is also now turning into a bit of a farce itself. Although I do think they told Ocon to leave the team because they can't afford to run 2 competitive cars anymore. All right, William. Okay, that's very interesting there, Kiefer. Thanks for telling me that. I think I'm going to have to find something else to read that comment fully out. Yeah, I mean, only 5 points separate Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari in the constructors. So, okay, so let me just read. Keith Chua, William Afton is a serial deleter who unalived 11 kids, and one of them was called Cassidy, who is the spirit that possesses Golden Freddy and in the UCN, he made a personal hell to in this torture for him, where he gets tortured by animatronics. Oh, Piastri had a shocker last season at Spain. Well, it doesn't mean this. It does not mean the same will happen though. Like you never know. You never know. I mean, predictions for next weekend. I mean, it's probably going to be McLaren versus Verstappen again, isn't it? Mercedes should be competitive again. I mean, this has been a week from hell for Scruffy, Radcliffe, and the Ineos boys. Yeah, I know Piastri can be inconsistent, but he's only just began his 3rd season of F1, and he is only 24 years old. Like, he is still improving. So for him to be this competitive so early on in his career is actually quite good. And by the way, he doesn't have like the same natural talent of like Verstappen, maybe a Kimi Raikkonen, or like an Alonso, Vettel, and certainly not Lewis Hamilton or Schumacher. So yeah, but I don't know, mate. I don't know what on earth makes a person like Alonso tick, to be honest. I don't know what goes on in Alonso's brain. I think Alonso deep down knows he's never going to get another. I mean, at this point, it's very unlikely he'll win a championship. He'll be lucky to get race win number 33. Like, I think he can only compete for himself at this point. I think any thoughts of getting revenge has probably disappeared from his brain, like, especially when he went back to McLaren for a second stint. Kieran Smith is going to get his daggers out for those 2 McAvoys. Although the thing is, though, I think he's going to have to probably tone it down a bit because, honestly, it's not like a track like Monaco, you can't really do much in a race. It's all about being in the right place at the right time, track position, correct pit strategy. That's it. That's it. Just look after your tyres. Don't push too hard. Don't hit the barriers. It's not like you can like be too harsh on the drivers unless, I don't know, they were really struggling like Kimi Antonelli this weekend. Apart from that, okay, I mean, Kimi Antonelli's 7th in the championship. Yeah, crazy story, say, crazy as hell. Dude, you don't need to repeat yourself over the same thing between Alonso, Hamilton, and 2007, mate. I think it's more like 95% qualifying and only 5% strategy, to be honest. There's never been like much racing that can ever take place at Monaco unless it's like 1996 with Olivier Panis winning a race. I mean, that race was just absolutely biblical in how weird it was. What was it? Look at that. Pole position was Michael Schumacher with a 1:20. That's really slow by today's standards. Antonelli had a fastest lap of a 25.2. Panis, Coulthard, and Herbert were the podium finishers. And just so you know, Heinz Frentzen was classified 4th, but he parked up in the pits for some reason. I don't know why. Really weird. And Panis only hit the lead in the last 16 laps. Most of that race was led by David Williams, and John Alesi led the race until his car broke down in a Benetton. And that's the last time a Ligier ever won an F1 race. Look at the sponsors we used to have. We had some sponsor from Russia, the European. Don't show that to Brexit voters. Foster's, Beer. Marlborough. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, they had to stop the race with 3 laps to go because, of course, the rain slowed everyone down quite a fair bit. They had no safety cars, but of course, with how slow the cars used to be in the mid-90s and the rain hitting the track, it meant they had to stop the race 3 laps early. Fair enough, yeah. 1982 was also a weird one. I think I talked about that race last weekend. Look at the qualifying order. Ferrari, Williams, Benetton, McLaren. Oh, Rubens Barrichello and Jordan, Ferrari, Irvine. Irvine was a 2nd than Schumacher. Heinz Frentzen qualified 9th, so you would think that, I don't know, this is so weird, isn't it? Coulthard finished 2nd, but Coulthard qualified 5th ahead of everyone else that finished, but he ended up in 2nd. That's weird. Where the hell's Johnny Herb? Oh, Johnny started ahead of Panis, but yet, my God, Panis drove an amazing race in this one. Look at that. He was starting around where Verstappen, Jos Verstappen, Herbert, Katayama, Brundle were. He only started 3 places ahead of his paid driver teammate Denise. And he only out-qualified Fisichella Jordan by 0.3 of a second. That's pathetic, really, to be honest. Ricardo Rossi was only a 10th quicker than the 240s at the back of the grid. Oh my goodness me, Ricardo Rossi, what an absolute shower of garbage he was. This is the weirdest looking result I've ever seen. I mean, apart from the 2005 American Grand Prix, like, oh yeah, Jos Verstappen qualified him 16-0. Jos Verstappen was a bang average qualifier himself, but yet that's how bad Rosset was. He couldn't even lay a glove on a driver like Jos Verstappen in qualifying. I don't know. It does make you wonder, like, what would have happened if they cancelled the 2021 Belgium Grand Prix? Would that? I don't know. How many points did he give out that day? Was it half points? I think we need to go back to that one because I know Max Verstappen won the 2021 Drivers' Championship by 7 points because, of course, Hamilton and Verstappen were equal on points into that final race. I am going to try and do a bit of arithmetic now. Oh, yeah, 2015. Well, yeah, but Mercedes dominated, so 2015 Australia is just a... Well, it wasn't that remarkable. It was just the number of cars that retired. 12.5 points for Max. Hamilton received 7.5 points, so no, funnily enough... Oh, yeah, he took the back. Oh, yeah, he would have still won a championship anyway. He still would have won the championship anyway, even if you ignore the results for Belgium. It still would have been collision, electrical. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm just doing a bit of maths there, don't worry. Collision and electrical for Beethoven. Oh, wow. Transmission, accident. Oh, yeah, Michael Schumacher got eliminated in the first lap. Accident for the pole sitter. And then Rosser and Cassioma got eliminated a couple of laps later. Denise got unlucky with his transmission in a race where his teammate was very competitive, so who knows what Denise could have done that day. Berger, my God, a lot of... I know it was the mid-90s, so it's pretty normal to see a lot of retirements, but this was really bizarre. And then, of course, there was obviously this freeway collision between the two Mikas and Eddie Irvine, which was really strange that, like, I don't know what happened, but, like, even so, they still... the two Mikas still were given points because so few cars were left on track. And it was only Eddie... Oh, yeah, Eddie Irvine was really struggling for pace, and was it? He ended up... Well, he held up the two Mikas and he collided into him because he was driving so slowly that they just got frustrated and rammed him. Boring. Hamilton fans crying again. Same old snore. What do you expect, Hamilton fans crying? It's like water is wet. I'm trying to find, where was the beat? There's like a picture where like the Tyrrell, the McLaren were like stuck behind the Ferrari. I think it's this video, by the way, like this one, Irvine solo. Doesn't matter, I'm not even bothered. Are there any investigations? I'm just wondering. Okay, you enjoy the rest of the day, Brooksford. I hope you're enjoying it. And of course, yeah, Premier League. The last game of the Premier League season is on. You should be very happy there. Of course, I don't really care about what's going on in the Premier League. It just has nothing to do with me in general, but massive spoil there for the race winner. He's finally got one off his bucket list. Just like Kimi Raikkonen, Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, Vettel, Schumacher, you name it. All the great drivers have won here. Apart from Rubens Barrichello, who I think, no, Rubens has never won it. Jenson Button has. Webber's done it. Felipe Massa missed out. I wish I won. Well, don't we all? And yeah, Leclerc proves us the two-stop strategy. Yeah, thank you everyone watching this video for the support here at Crystal Racing. 6 likes. Championship order, again, for those of you who want to know, 25 points separates Piastri and Verstappen. Don't count Max out. But that's 0 points for Russell, who falls 62 points behind, and well, his already dim championship hopes are fading away quickly, thanks to Jim Radcliffe FC and Jim Radcliffe Racing having the week from hell. My God, Alpine's only 6 points behind Kimi Antonelli, but of course, yeah, Kimi's a rookie, so I wouldn't say that's anything too surprising at this point in Antonelli's career. I'm just checking to see if there's like investigations or penalties, but I don't think so, because obviously also served his stop-go or whatever it was. Verstappen pitted, so no worries there. I think there's no investigations for once. I don't think there's anything to talk about, weirdly. I mean, so much happened, considering it's Monaco, and yet there's nothing really to talk about in terms of investigations, which is so odd. Yeah, though I don't really want to talk about 2021 ever again. I really don't. But for those of you who want to watch Premier League football, here are the fixtures. I will not update you because I have no interest in it. Bournemouth. Oh, they started half an hour ago. Okay. Paris City, Tottenham, Europa League champions are leading. Brentford leading. Kimi Räikkönen did his farewell that day. I mean, had it not been for the fact it was a last race showdown between Max and Lewis, I think we would have paid a lot more attention to Kimi's farewell. But I think Kimi Räikkönen retired in the way I think he actually wanted to retire, which was to retire in silence and to be ignored. Because I think Kimi was like, oh, thank God everyone's talking about those two and not me. Of course, as his fan, I'm gonna pay tribute to what his farewell was like. There was like a pre-race tribute for Kimi before the race, like with tifos, goodbye messages, his family attending. I think everyone was like clapping him. Oh yeah, I've seen that YouTube channel. He's a bit he's all over the place because, of course, you know, when you support Lewis. Yeah. Oh, Ferrari! Look at that. Ferrari gave him a replica of his 2007 Ferrari, with flanked by Leclerc and Sainz. Oh yeah, Roman Grosjean also paid tribute. His former Lotus teammate Vettel was obviously there. I think Joe Giovinazzi was also part of the farewell ceremony. Of course, that was also Joe Giovinazzi's final F1 weekend. Dear Kimi, we will leave you alone now. What a message. Of course, that came like exactly 9 years after he won at Abu Dhabi for Lotus, by the way, so it was a fitting farewell message. Of course, yeah, Kimi wore his first ever helmet for his final race, blue and white, that he wore at Sauber back in 2001. His Now, I think that's a wrong thing to say about Kieran Smith, mate. I think that's a bit wrong, because Kieran Smith gave a lot of credit towards Giovinazzi, and like, even though he did criticise Vettel, I think he did acknowledge Vettel was a quick driver, but it was more the fact that Vettel's poor racecraft, which was a big problem, and his lack of ability to control a twitchy rear end. Grosjean, I mean, yeah, Grosjean sometimes qualified well, but the problem was his overall race crash was far worse. Coulthard, solid driver, but no longer quick. Montoya, not consistent enough. Massa, well, the thing with Massa is that Massa got very, very lucky with his relationship with John Todd, with his son Nicholas Todd being his own personal manager, helping him getting favours at Ferrari. I do think, though, obviously, he does have a massive bias against Fernando Alonso, and I think 2014 did play a part in him being, like, constantly turning into, like, someone who just full-on hates Alonso, but now, to be fair, the 2014 Ferrari was bad, and it was probably, like, I mean, Alonso probably did contribute to how bad that Ferrari was, because of Alonso's natural inclination to be able to car handling issues, meaning that he can't give like an accurate feedback on how the car would handle for like a normal driver who drives in a conventional way like Kimi does. I mean, with the Indy 500 just over an hour away, I think I'm going to have to end the stream. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very quickly, very quickly. One more thing, Montoya got retired at Austria and Japan. I think he actually could have won the championship, but yeah, well, that's not my problem anyway. Yeah, thank you everyone, and I'll see you again soon.